Work the sky alone most weekends. Tower 3, a square of glass lashed to 100 feet of creaking wood and wind. From up here, a national forest looks endless and indifferent, the horizon a hard silver line that never blinks. Peter, can you even see anything up there? Harry, oldest ranger, least monsieur, crackled through the two-way. Same joke, every shift. Vision is clear, I said. No smoke, no flares, no adverse weather. Cool. Can you see me flipping the double bird? I could hear him grinning. Harry is like radiation, fine in tiny doses. Weekend shifts will ruin your DNA. Negative, I said. How's campsite duty? Slow. 5 campers total, 2 are hosts. Filth Hat Jack's back on the western loop. He made a noise like he'd swallowed a bee. I can't stand that dude. He's gruff, I offered. Break through and he's still gruff. Rough like those fairy tale goats. Weren't they devils or tricked a devil? I'm not current on Billy Goat canon. That's why they put you in the birdhouse. We grounders might play poker later. He's been trying to make grounders happen, everyone not in a tower. Somehow we in the towers became Sandies, short for sandhill cranes. None of it makes sense, but names stick in forests. You all suck at poker, I said. Priests don't bluff. Spin me a yarn about how you lost $100, Harry said. Guys. Gwen Sandy 5, cut in, annoyed but fond. She's the gifted kid energy you try to hate and then can't. These radios are for emergencies. Gwenny, Harry sang. Jorge is gone. Boss free day. 1, she said, and never promised anything. 2, I hate Gwenny. 3, it was a troll, and 3, Billy Goat's gruff. 4, Peter is the worst poker player in camp. Boom, Harry said, probably doing his idiotic charging bullhand horns. This man pays a mortgage. I signed off to stop the banter. There's a hush in a tower the wind can't touch. If you let it, the quiet pads around your ankles like a cat and decides your furniture. I read to keep from turning into a chair. Tie-in horror novelizations this week. Alien, The Fog, lined up the blob. No, I don't have a girlfriend. Why do you ask? An hour later, Sandy 3, copy. When again, crisp, official. Though, you get any emergency calls last 10 minutes. Negative. Cabin radio mine started squawking. At first just static, then music, like a kid's toy piano playing where he had a little lamb looping. Then silence, lead through. That was my first thought. Haven't heard it since. A pause. No one's scheduled near me today. You're not alone, I said. Pearl's with you. Pearl is her sidearm. I'm not a gun guy outside of this job. But out here you're a soft animal threaded with fear. Tools matter. We signed off. I drifted to the north window. On clear days you can needle Tower 5 out of the green by finding the one straight joint nature didn't set. Today was clean, air like glass, nothing strange. The cabin radio coughed behind me, lights blinking, a throat clearing. I picked up the mic. Sandy 3, come back. Static, unkind, patient. I waited 2 full minutes, the way you do when you think a voice will arrive if you earn it with stillness. Nothing. I went back to my paperback. 2 pages later, Sandy 3, this is Sandy 5. Go, I said, already moving. Do you see something in the sky northwest? I cupped my eyes against glare. Negative. What is it? Not sure. Heard a whoosh over the tower, thought small plane. Too low, but when I looked, nothing overhead. Then 10 miles out, sun flashed on something silver. And it's just hovering. Fair guys sometimes do test runs, I said. Choppers. Nothing on schedule. Hailed them. No answer. Which is bad anywhere and suicidal in a living tinderbox. I'll try other frequencies. I was already flipping dials, calling fire, rescue, anyone. Silence met me back, thick as wool. I tried to be more bands. Nothing. Like the forest had absorbed voices. I switched back. No one's answering. Love that for us, she said. No cell service either. I usually have bars. I glanced at my phone, blank. Not even roaming. Restarted. Still blank. Towers erased. Teat, she said, voice thinner. It's dropping. Falling or landing. Both. Controlled descent. It just slipped behind the tree line. Log a smoke report, I said. Follow protocol. Copy. I said her name again, habit, spelled prayer. The floor trembled. A low growl matured under the tower and rolled through the legs and into the marrow of the wood. 30 seconds of long wave violence, shock, sway. Dishes rattling in the cabinets long enough to learn how tall you are and how fragile. Gwen, I said, you okay? I think something snapped, she said, breath ragged. When has there ever been an earthquake here? As she asked, the trees a mile out snapped back and forth in a perfect ring, as if a giant fingertip pressed into the canopy and rippled outward. A concussion wave arrived, first the pressure, then the sound slamming Tower 3 so hard the northern window spider webbed, then blew. Last scythe passed my face and salted my forearm. I crawled under the desk and listened to the tower groan like a hurt animal. When the air settled, I tied a tourniquet from my shirt sleeve and moved to the south window. The wave trundled away toward the campsites like a second horizon. Gwen, come back. Nothing. The silence of a dropped call that never fell. My handheld squawked. Harry. Sandy 3, what the fuck was that? I don't know, I said. I can't reach Gwen, any smoke. She saw something hovering near her. It went down. We tried fire and rescue. No one's home. Hovering, affirmative. And the cabin radio screamed. Not feedback exactly. Clicking, layered consonants without vowels. Growls braided into syllables. Then a blade-thin, metallic shriek that drove nails into my ears. The remaining panes cracked but refused to surrender. The sound cut, leaving my head aquatic and far away. I caught up to my body and heard Harry yelling my name like he needed proof I had one. It sounded like crickets talking, I said. The second I said it, I wanted it back. You hit your head, Harry said. The radio breathed again, clicks, but mimicking now, arranging. A tinny toy piano melody stitched itself out of the noise. Mary had a little lamb, the exact little song Gwen had heard. Something learning us. I swore without heat. Outside, something rose above the treeland silver, sun bright, too clean against the blue, and waited like it was listening for. Then it ripped across the sky over my tower so fast the cabin shook in gratitude to still be here. I dove under the desk and tasted dust. My handheld crackled with Harry's frantic noise, but I ignored him and stumbled onto the catwalk. The air changed, heavy, movement thickened, like wading into warm honey. Lines went wavy, the whole world shimmering the way heat rises off blacktop. Nothing above me. Still, I could feel it, the way you feel a tall stranger just behind you in an empty aisle. The cabin radio bled feedback again, and like a polite copycat, assembled Mary had a little lamb. Then empty, the weight lifted. Whatever had been on me was gone. Peter, copy. Harry said. Copy, I answered, voice too calm. What's happening? Smoke winked into being on the northern horizon. First a ribbon, then a band. Then not smoke at all, smoke grows and roils. This unfurled. A thick gray body laid down across the treetops, a fog blooming where fog shouldn't bloom and spreading like a bad idea. Harry, I've got a line near Tower 5, I said, and I still can't raise Gwen, say no more. I'm taking the UTV bearing. I checked the Osborne, but the neat measurement felt like a lie against what I was seeing. Everywhere, I said. It's stretching across the horizon. The cabin radio cut in with a voice you only hear when a country is on fire. The Secretary of Agriculture, flat calm. Rangers, this is a code black warning. Please remain in place and do not interfere with any military officials who may arrive on scene. If there are civilians present, inform them they are to remain in place and cannot leave. Anyone found fleeing this location will be considered hostile and subject to severe punishments. Repeat, code black. Stay in place. It ended as cleanly as it began. Harry, I said, what the hell is code black? I have no idea, he said, but if the military's coming, it ain't good. I'm still going to Gwen, if she's at the center. He stopped there and left me with the edge of the sentence. Go, I said, be safe. You know me, he said. Safety's my middle name. That and he tried to make a joke about his anatomy. It rattled around the empty air and fell, grounder one out. The VOD advanced like a living thing. Trees swallowed in silence. The difference between seeing something vanish and watching it be unmade is the sound it doesn't make. I thought about Gwen in her high glass box. If the tower had fallen, if the wave had broken her legs, if the radio hissed. Sandy 3, this is Sandy 5, you copy. Gwen's voice low, too low. Gwen, are you okay? I can't say much, she whispered. They may hear me. A child's question rose up in me, humiliated to exist in an adult mouth. Who? The creatures in the fog. Everything in me sat down without permission. The what? Dozens, she breathed. And multiplying. What are they? Hush, a beat of nothing. Then I hear some at the base of the tower. I pictured the hash to her catwalk and begged the version of her in my head to have locked it. She kept her finger on the transmit. Through the open mic I heard the room with her. Breathing like someone trying not to breathe. A soft snat of cloth, the minute zipper sound of a throw swallowing. Then the clicking again, not electronic now. Wet many throats organizing syllables they hadn't earned. The sound came from everywhere at once. Jesus, she breathed, even softer. I think one's on the stairs. Lock the door, I said, pointlessly. She couldn't hear me while she held the mic. I whispered it again anyway. To whom? I don't know. If I don't make it, she whispered, tell Harry thank you for the dumb jokes. Between you and me though, the man has personal knowledge of America's mood during the 2008 housing crisis. I smiled with my teeth clenched, tears brightening the blood on my arm. I'm not saying goodbye, I still have Pearl, but she cut herself off. There are more of them on the stairs now. Her voice thin to thread. I'm scared, Peter. I don't think these things are from. The transmission died so hard the silence had edges. I pressed the button until my thumb hurt. Gwen, Gwen, nothing. The cabin radio popped and went dark, some internal fuse giving up. My handheld couldn't reach that far. She was suddenly alone in the absolute sense. Not a person, not a tower, not a species near enough to touch her. The fog shouldered closer. I locked the hatch and jammed what little furniture I had against the window frames. It wouldn't stop anything. It made me feel like a person instead of a target. I loaded my handgun, hands shaking. The forest disappeared in slow strips. The world shrank to the square I occupied, and the air out wanted it. Across the south, far from the gray mass, the trees were still themselves, sunlight freckling pine bark, a hawk circling, the ordinary holiness of a morning. I tried to memorize it in case memory was the last gift left. I don't know what a code black truly means. I don't know if the military has a plan or if the plan is to keep us still while whatever this is decides what to make of us. I do know this, the fog is almost here. Something inside it has learned our lullaby, and somewhere to the north, a friend is either very brave or already gone.